Hey Meyer, it's your Uncle Riley, and surprise! We made this video for you because we love you, and we hope you and your classmates enjoy it. Hey kids, I'm Riley,
And I'm Ammon.
and today we're going to be reading you this book, A Walk in New York by Salvatore Rubino.
In New York.
A Walk in New York by Salvatore Rubino. Hello, this is me, and that's my dad. We've just arrived in Manhattan, the busiest part of New York City. Dad wants to show me around. This platform's underground. We walk along a ramp and come up onto ground level. Welcome to Grand Central, Dad says, the largest train station in the world. Wow, this hall is really huge, and there are so many people, all in a hurry. Here's the clock. It faces all four directions, so you can always see what time it is to make your train on time. The stars on the ceiling represent over 2,500 real constellations.
We step onto the street, and I can't believe my eyes. The buildings are so tall. No wonder they're called skyscrapers. I can tell who the visitors are. We're the ones who keep stopping to look up.
We stop again. This building's not as tall as it is wide. Dad tells me it's the New York Public Library. And meet the library lions, he says. They guard the books inside. Dad's silly. Those lions aren't real. A librarian stops and talks to us. She says there are 10,000 new books coming every single week, and there are 88 miles of bookshelves inside. The site where the library used to stand used to be a reservoir, and the library lions are called Patience and Fortitude. They're made of pink marble from Tennessee.
I recognize that skyscraper. It's the Empire State Building. It has 102 floors, Dad says. On cloudy days, you can't see the top. Visitors can go to the Empire State Building, so Dad and I buy tickets. A policeman shows us to a high-speed elevator, and in less than a minute, we're 1,050 feet closer to the moon. It's quiet up here, and water shines in all directions. Dad tells me that Manhattan is an island. He shows me some bridges that connect it to New York's other boroughs. I look down, and cars are tiny specks in the ribbon streets below.
Back on planet Earth, we smell a delicious smell. But to get to the hot dog stand, we have to cross the street. 5 lanes of traffic are revving at the lights. Dad puts me on his shoulders. He thinks that I'll be safer here. More hot dogs are eaten in New York than any other U.S. state.
We eat our hot dogs and window shop. This department store is called Macy's. Dad says you can buy anything from a dish rag to a diamond inside. That must be why their shopping bags come in so many shapes and sizes. Macy's is one of the oldest stores in New York. It opened in 1858.
Now we're walking down a street called Broadway. Dad shows me an amazing skyscraper. It isn't square-shaped, it's triangular. It's called the Flatiron Building. Dad says because it looks like an iron. The Flatiron Building is one of New York's oldest skyscrapers. It has 22 floors. And most Manhattan streets run straight, but Broadway runs diagonally.
My feet are really tired. Even Dad's are. So we find a park to rest in. It's called Union Square Park. We buy some fruit and postcards at a market stall, then sit down in the grass and listen to the music. The Green Market in Union Square Park sells local farmers fresh fruit and vegetables.
After our energy comes back, we want to see some more. The streets around the park are quieter and smaller. Dad says the buildings here are mainly homes and not offices. People know one another, and when they talk, we hear lots of different languages. Did you know that almost 170 languages are spoken in New York, and more people live in this city than any other in the country?
The more we walk now, the more we see the sky. Dad asks me if I'm hungry. I always am. Let's have a snack, he says. This is Greenwich Village, where you find the best cafes in New York. The ground under Greenwich Village is too soft to build skyscrapers on. The village was used to be a real village that was outside of New York City.
We leave the cafe when it's almost dark. Dad slips down the side street that brings us to the river. The Hudson, he says, and you can see the Statue of Liberty. From the pier, we watch the boats. The gulls watch us, and the fishermen watch the water. The sun dips down behind the statue, and her crown turns gold. The statue is more than 300 feet tall and was a gift from France in 1886.
Taxi! Taxi! Dad yells. Grand Central, please, I say. Through the windows, the city sparkles in the night. Dad and I agree there's just one thing better than taking a walk in New York, and that's riding a cab back. More than 12,000 licensed cabs work in New York City, and each one's sunshine yellow.
At the lights, the driver shows me one last thing. That's the James A. Farley building, he says. Has a general post office inside. The writing carved around the top says, neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. What does that mean, I ask. It's a promise that they'll do everything they can to get your mail to you, Dad says. So when we reach the station, I write one of our postcards and drop it in the mailbox. Dear friend, I hope one day you'll come visit us in New York City too. The end.